Hey, what's going on? You caught me. Real professional, huh? Tony Scott here. Smooth RV 105.7. Here on Monday, man. Glad to be here. Glad you're with me today. I'm in a great mood today for lots of different reasons, mostly because I'm alive, and that's a good thing, right? Time to look at Tony's cheeks, some entertainment headlines that grab my attention today. You know, R. Kelly says he's heartbroken over the claims. He calls them false claims. That he's been inappropriate with underage women. He says these accusations being perpetrated by the media is an attempt to distort my character, to destroy my legacy that I have worked so hard to build. He also says the women in my life are consenting adults. He says it's breaking his heart. Oh, poor R. Kelly. There's a movement called Mute R. Kelly, hashtag Mute R. Kelly, that's around to get his concerts canceled. In fact, there's a concert in his hometown of Chicago called the 2018 Love Jam this Saturday. And he has been, according to Ticketmaster, he is no longer on the bill to perform, although his people say we haven't been told anything and we're looking forward to performing. So maybe they didn't get the memo, but that's the deal on that. Issa Rae is being dragged for telling black women that they need to get with Asian men. She says this in her book, The Misadventures of Awkward Black Girl. She proposes that black women and Asian men join forces in love, marriage, and procreation. There's more in that part of the book you can read. I'll link you to it on the website at krnb.com, which I thought was pretty interesting. I've got no problem with people who date outside their race if they just happen to fall in love. But if you're looking for a certain type, if you're pursuing someone of a certain race, then for some reason, and even though it's none of my business, and I should have the attitude, well, if that makes you happy and that person who you're pursuing is making you happy, even though you only want them because of their race, then what's it to me? But for some reason, that's always bothered me. But you know what? Live in love. That's all I got to say. So there you go. And Kanye West, Kim Kardashian was on Ellen last week, and she says Kanye was in another room when their baby was born through a surrogate, their baby Chicago, their baby girl, that he was in another room playing Connect Four with his friends. I mean, what was he supposed to do? If you were in the delivery room, he probably would have been in there. But it's not you. It's another woman in there having y'all's baby. He didn't want to be in the delivery room for that. I wouldn't want to be in the delivery room for that. I was in the delivery room for all my children. And, there's a fine line when you're in the delivery room. That sheet is everything. That sheet that kind of like, I don't know, there's a sheet that, are you in front of the knee or behind the knee? Are you above the knee or below the knee? And that's an important distinction for a man. But I will say this, that you're never the same. You never look at your spouse the same, not in a bad way, but you look at it, like when my wife, even my first wife, when she had our daughter, and my wife had about 2 daughters, and just to see a human being come out of another human being and recognizing that this woman has carried another person around as they grew and nurtured in her belly, in her womb, it just makes you appreciate that person all the more, I think. I hope I said that right. If you got a queasy stomach, it ain't good to look at, but you know what? It's amazing. It is amazing. I mean, it really is, but I'm just like, I don't know. Did I say it right? I hope I did. I hope I did. But there's that. What broke my heart today, one of the 4 victims at the Waffle House, De'Ebony Groves, apparently just before she was shot, was singing Jesus Loves Me. De'Ebony was 21 years old, a senior at Belmont University, a member of, I think she was a Delta, and they say that she was singing the song. I don't know if she was singing the song because she knew she was getting shot, or she was just singing the song because she just loves singing that song. I don't know what the deal is on that, but I put the story up on the website at krb.com, and you can check that out if you want to. I just thought that was like, it just broke my heart, but she seemed to be at peace at the moment that it happened. So I guess there's that, right? Bill Cosby, apparently, according to one juror, Harrison Snyder was on the jury. He's like 22 years old. He was on the jury that convicted Bill Cosby of all 3 counts last week. And he says that Bill Cosby was done before the trial even started. Not because that was the mindset the jury had, but because he's talking about the deposition that Bill Cosby did before, where he admitted to giving quaaludes and things like that. And he says right there, I mean, he told on himself. He says that he did this. And this is basically why he was convicted. You can watch, Harrison Snyder, the juror, was on Good Morning America this morning. And I'll put a link to it on the website, too, again, at krnb.com. You can watch it for yourself. Whether that's going to be grounds for appeal because the jurors said that Bill Cosby was done before the trial even started, essentially, I don't think that'll be enough. I think there's a lot of other things that probably could get this verdict turned around. But again, I'm not a lawyer, not an expert, just a lot of what I've been reading over the weekend. That may be the deal. So let's see, what else? Mariah Carey's back at Caesar's Palace for her residency. That must pay like a lot of money, because you live and work in Vegas for an extended period of time, and she's back in what's called the Butterfly Returns. It'll show the show will spotlight a more intimate performance, so that's kind of cool. If you're a Mariah fan, if you're a fellow Butterfly, then I guess that's a good thing, right? Let's see what else is going on. With everything that Kanye West has been saying lately, and how Trump is his boy and all that, he loves Donald Trump and all that, which is certainly his right to feel that way. But a lot of celebrities have abandoned him on social media. But Daz Dillinger, the rapper, apparently has called on the Crips to take up the matter. Well, you know what? Does it have to come to that? Does it seriously have to come to that? Really? Can we not go down that road? Okay, he's a human being who has the right to his opinion. Now, I'm of the belief, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm of the belief that he's creating hype for his new music that's coming out. Like I told you last week, we hadn't heard a peep out of Kanye in a couple of years. Every once in a while, he'd show up and say something, but for the most part, he's been pretty quiet. And now he's got music coming out. He's saying all kinds of what we would deem as bizarre and crazy things. That's not a coincidence to you? That's a coincidence to you is what I'm saying. That just doesn't wash for me. I'm just saying. So here in Dallas, a restaurant, I think it's called Sambuca, a black man who's a world-renowned life coach and his wife were at this Sambuca restaurant, and apparently him and his wife were sitting at a table for two, and the manager says, "You got to go, you got to leave." Apparently, the man wanted to give the table to one of his regulars, who happened to be a white man, and they asked this life coach to leave, and he was like, "No, I'm good. I think I'll." He was very respectful and cordial, and he's like, "No, it's a table for two. We're good right here. We like the view. We're going to enjoy a meal." And then the manager is like, "You got to go, man." At this point, I mean, the conversation has escalated to the point where the manager is saying, "You're trespassing, man." Where the hell did that come from? He's trespassing. He's trespassing. So now, his wife pulled out the phone and got some of it on videotape. So that's gone viral. And now the restaurant is saying, "You know what? We got this wrong. We messed this up." They're trying to get in front. It's too late to get in front of it. So you have to apologize because you did get it wrong. Does the manager get to keep his job? You know what? I don't know. There used to be a time in my life when somebody did something stupid like that, I would say, and those of you who used to listen to me in St. Louis, I would say, I need his job, right? I would say, I need this manager's job. But having been down that road of unemployment, that is no joke. And I don't know if I necessarily need his job. If somebody says I need his job, I'd be fine with that. I'm not going to say I need his job. I'm going to say maybe I need him to be demoted. I need him to be held accountable. I don't believe at this point in his life that going to sensitivity training is going to change a damn thing about him. I don't see that happening. I don't think he can be a manager at my restaurant anymore. If he wants to move down a peg, I'll move him down a peg, but that's about as far as I'm willing to go. If that makes him quit, well, then he'll have to quit. But I'm just saying. Yeah, Sambuca, Donna picked the wrong. They picked the wrong one, man. They really did. And like I said, the restaurant is saying, "You know what? We got this wrong, man. We messed up. We messed up bad. We're sorry." And the thing is this life coach has apparently held private parties for like hundreds of people at a time at that same restaurant. And yet this manager says, your tab's paid. You got to pay your tab. You got to go. I don't know, man. I just don't see where that, like I said, I'm not saying the man should lose his job, but he sure can't be my manager anymore. I'm sorry, you can't. You don't have the temperament. You do not have the temperament to be the manager at my restaurant. I'm just saying. I mean, I just can't see how that's going to work out. Not in my restaurant anyway, because you've already showed your bias, and that's not cool. That's just me. The NRA convention is going to be here in Dallas this weekend, maybe this week. I don't know if it's during the week, but I know the president's supposed to be here Friday to speak at a forum. Now they're saying that when the vice president shows up, you cannot have any guns there. Well, why not? Why can't you have guns at the NRA convention? Those are good guys. Aren't those good guys? Those are good guys, right? The NRA people are good guys. They're pro-gun and everything. They say they know, they understand the responsibility of having a gun. Why can't they have a gun? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. But they say the rest of the time you can have a gun at the convention, but you can't have one when the vice president's there. Secret Service shut that down. Mayor Pro Tem Dwayne Caraway? He wants, a lot of people signing petitions. They want the city to pull the convention at this late date. I don't see that happening, but you never know. You never know. So, Regina, how you doing? Let's check in with some of the comments. If you got something you want to say about anything I've mentioned or anything I didn't mention, you're more than welcome to do that. Regina, how's it going? Kenya is in the house. Hi, Kenya. Desiree, how's it going? Tracy's in the house. Tosh is in the house. Brenda, hello there. In Hempstead, it's Marcella. Regina, can we as black people have each other's backs? Geesh. Exactly what do you mean? In reference to what is what I'm asking? Because, I run down the list of stories and then I circle back. So it is a beautiful thing, Brenda, to see your child born. It's a beautiful thing, not visually. Visually, there's nothing beautiful about it, about that whole thing, right? But just the spirituality, the connection you have, the love you have for the person who's given birth, as a man, giving birth to your child, and that whole moment right there, that's a beautiful moment. But for me, myself personally, to see it, you know why? Because it looks like it hurts like hell. It just looks like it hurts like, and that's the only. If I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. But it just looks like it, and I don't want to see my wife in pain like that. But it look, because my wife, my current wife, with our first daughter, she had an epidural, but by the time the epidural took effect, she had already had the baby. That interim from the time they give you the shot, then they lay you up and stuff, and then it's got to work its way in. Well, she had the baby before it kicked in, so she kind of had it naturally, but maybe not. So, Yvonne, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Thanks so much. And yeah, he said in the deposition that he gave out Quaaludes. Bill Cosby, he said that. So the thing that has me kind of confused. Okay, so the woman that he's convicting, Andrea Constand. Okay, so back in 2005, 2006, she sued him, I guess, for civil damages, and they settled. He gave her almost $3.5 million. So how is it, since the matter's settled, and clearly, what are the statute of limitations on this? That's the part I don't understand. And then there was some sort of, in the settlement, there was a guarantee that he would never be prosecuted for this in reference to this woman, Andrea Constand. If I'm getting this wrong, tell me. But in my mind, I'm reading this over the weekend, so I'm trying to, because I didn't write it down, I'm trying to, in my mind, thinking, is that the order that I saw that? And you guys may have followed it closer than I did. That just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Is that enough for them to overturn it on appeal? I don't know. I know he was fitted for an ankle bracelet, whatever you call that thing today, and he can only leave his house for legal matters and for medical reasons. And yeah, Poncho, Kanye West, he's trying to create hype for his music that's going to be coming out. He said he's got music coming out, and then all these comments started coming out. So, yeah, he's doing it on purpose. And why do we fall on that trap? Like every time we fall in that hole, man, every time we're in the hole, we fall down that trap every time. And we can point it out with his first comment, not even just Kanye, anybody. We can say, hey, man, he's got an album coming out. He's saying something stupid. And yet we fall for it every time. Why do we do that? Poncho, I'll wait for an answer. I don't know. Samuel says, you know what? He's a genius. He's promoted a new album. And what he says, people react to it. And then he's leaking some music out online now, right, Samuel? So that's kind of the deal on that. So, yeah. Roberto, I'm not ready to go that far. As far as the restaurant thing, Joanne says we're at a point where a cell phone is the only route to justice as much as it is an invasion. You know what? And Joanne, good to hear from you. Haven't heard from you in a long time. I don't know, because there's been incidents of police brutality. It's been caught on videotape, and not a damn thing came from it. But I agree with where you're coming from, Joe, and I think it is sickening. And yet sometimes there's not justice for something like that. Yvonne says, you know what, I agree with you, Tony, about that manager at Sambuca. He could never be my manager. I agree with you that he has to step down. Like you said, if you want to quit, let him quit, because that was very unprofessional. I mean, you just don't do that to people. This man, you said, you asked this man if he was willing to give up his table, and he said no. That should have been the end of it. And your regular customer, who happened to be white, you go back and say, man, you're a regular, we appreciate your business, but, you know, I asked him if he'd be willing to give up his table. Did you give him an incentive to give up his table? Hey, man, if you move to this other table, we'll comp your meal. Did you do that? You're the manager. Did you do that? Did you say that? Did you give the man incentive to give up his table? That's what you do. You want somebody to give up their table? You go, hey, man, if you move to another table, drinks are on us. Appetizers are on us. I'll comp your whole meal. Dessert will be on me. Something like that. You got to give the man reason. He probably waited in line. It looked like a very busy restaurant. He waited for a seat, got his seat, and he's ready to eat with his wife. A peaceful night. And then this manager comes and mucks it all up? Come on, man. Donna says, you know what? He should lose his job. There's too many people getting a pass. Next job, he'll know better. And you know what? Like I said earlier, Donna, I cannot argue with that. I cannot argue with that. So I won't argue with that. I'm just not ready to take anybody's job, but I'm not going to fight you on that because I think that's fair. I think it's fair. In the climate that we're living in today, come on, man. How many weeks ago was the Starbucks thing? Come on, man. We got to do better. It's amazing how many restaurants have been doing this, but now they're getting caught. That's because there are cameras now on your phone. Yeah. It's, you know, the It's a Race story. We need more togetherness as a race. Well, you know what? If you love somebody and they happen to be of a different race, well, then you just love somebody. You know, if you got a type, if you seek someone out, gotta get me a white girl. You know, and there's nothing wrong with a white girl. You know, but to me, there's just always something kind of creepy. There's something creepy about that because your first preference in looking for someone is the color of their skin. That to me bothers me. I don't know why. I don't know why. It just does. And when things bother me, I usually pull on my ear. And if you see the length of my ear, you can tell I've been bothered a long time. Look at the size of that thing. Good Lord. That's like, you know, whales have less blubber than that. What is that about? He just went right off the rails again. He does that, doesn't he? Yes, he does. Let's see. Donna says your son was born 3 months early, weighing only 1 pound and 12 ounces. You know, grateful beyond words. Is this the young man you told me about, Donna? Because I got your email today, and I plan on calling when I get out of here, if that's okay. Just let me know either way. If I need to wait longer or this is not a good day, just let me know. Let me know. Samuel, just asking where the drugs have they recalled about happened. Think about it. Just asking they were drug. I don't. Samuel, you lost me on that one, man. You're typing on your phone and you're at a red light, huh? I don't know what you meant, man. Clarify, please, and I'll circle back, man. Barbara, I'm doing great. Kamika says Kanye needs to have several seats, and the song's trash. Is the song? I said, you know what? I'm not a hip hop guy, you know, so I don't listen to a lot of hip hop, hardly any, to be quite honest with you. So I don't know if his song's trash or not. But if Kamika says it is, I guess I have to say that. Well, that's good enough for me, you know. So now, is the song trash because you're mad at what he's been saying, or is it genuine trash? Has your bias because you're pissed off at him? Has it tainted you? And if you answer me like this, I'm never going to speak to you again. Okay? I'm just saying. Brenda says, as for R. Kelly, he needs to leave the young kids alone. It's too many women out there. You talk about having a type. He's got a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem there, I think. So, so you're telling me, Donna, that the life coach at the Sakura thing, they did offer him a drink? Okay. And if he turns it down, that's fine too, right? Because he is sitting there, and you asked him to move to another table. He said no. Like I said, that should have been the end of it. Now, if you want to incentivize the move, offer him a drink, offer the compass meal, stuff like that, do that. But if he still says, no, I think I do. My wife and I, we just want to have this dinner, you know, in peace and stuff, then you have to leave it alone. You have to leave it alone. You can't turn around and go, look, man, you got to go. You got to go. You got to go, man. You got to go. You got to get out of here. Now you're trespassing. And the dude called the police. He did, but by that time, the life coach and his wife, they said, you know what, we don't need this. They got up and left before the police got there. And they stood across the street. When the police got there, they just ran into the restaurant. What's the deal? And that's kind of like that, just too bad. So Brenda likes Kanye. The only song I like two songs by Kanye. The one with Jamie Foxx. What is that? The Gold Digger song? And I just like it because I like Jamie Foxx singing in the background, sounding like Ray Charles. And the other song I like is Jesus Walks. I think that was an amazing song. I love Jesus Walks. And other than that, I can't say that I don't. The reason why I don't like the rest of the music is because I'm not familiar with it, and no other reason. Not because I think it's trash. I don't know it. I don't know it. I do not know it. So there's that. So, well, you know what, Michelle, for people who date their own skin color, is that the same thing as what I'm saying? You have a type? Well, yes and no. Yes, it is, but no, it's more common for us to be with people in our own race than it is for people who who go outside their race. Am I saying that right? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a common thing when that happens, unless you're in my family. but it's kind of like a common occurrence when you date and marry in your own race. But when you go outside your race, it's kind of different. Although it's not as taboo as it used to be in most parts of the country. Some parts of the country, some parts of the world, it still is. Some parts of the country, I imagine it's against the law. It used to be against the law in some states in this country. So in that regard, you have a type, but, I don't know. It's kind of like, I prefer light-skinned women. I'm not saying that I do. I'm just saying that when you say that, that's kind of like, it's kind of like shutting down, I knew a friend of mine who says he would never date a woman who had children. He would never date, man, I don't want someone else's problems and all that. Who did he marry? A woman with a child. But, it worked for a while. So, glad to hear that, Donna. So I'll be reaching out probably later this evening. So, you know what, Joanne? Joanne, you've known me a long time. I made a career out of laughing at myself because I think I'm like the biggest, funniest looking goofball in the history of radio. So, Barbara, she didn't just have the baby. She was talking about her son who's in college. Back when she had the baby, he was born premature. But yeah, hey, congratulations on that. Absolutely. And so, Donna, you're saying, so when the manager offered the life coach drinks, him and his wife already had drinks. So that was just a fail. It was just a fail. To me, if I'm at a table and the manager wants me to give up the table for whatever reason, all right, and you offer me drinks, I don't drink, but I'm just saying, if you offer me drinks and I say no, if you want to up the ante and say, you know what, guys, I'll tell you what, if you move to another table, we'll comp everything tonight. Can I bribe you with that? What I would go down the list. Can I bribe you with a comp meal? Or can I bribe you with comp appetizers? No. How about a comp meal? No. How about a comp dessert? No. How about I comp the whole thing? Would you do it then? And if he still says no, I'm going to say, you know what? I tried. I respect that. Have a great dinner. In fact, you know what? For them even putting up with me as a manager, I'm going to comp one part of their meal. Just because I bothered them with something that they just didn't want to do. And that's what I would do as a manager. You know what I'm saying? Because I believe, when you work in the service industry, how you talk and back and forth with people is everything. What I do for a living, I have to treat each and every one of you when I see you in person like I'm running for office because I need you. I need your support, right? That's what it's in a sense, it's a service industry, what I do. This restaurant thing is a total complete service industry, and that guy fumbled the ball, in my opinion. Yeah, Barbara, Donna's son is a grown-ass man now, okay? He's 23. He's got hair all over his body. He's Yes. Kanye has been off the deep end since his mother passed. You know what? Yeah. But I would say that it was before then he was kind of he was kind of tinkering on the edge. But yeah, the passing of his mom put him in a space that I don't think was good for him. the thing is that it's okay to be in that space because you're mourning the death of your parent, but you can't live in that space. That's not what your mother would want you to do. You know, that's not what your mother would want you to do. My father died 8 years ago this year, and I know that my father would not want me mourning him every day. My father would want me to live my life and be the best person that I can be, and just enjoy my life. That's what my father would want, right? And it hurts like hell. It does. It hurt when I think about him being gone. I think about him all the time, but you know, I was praying to God this morning, and I was saying, you know, bless my children, God bless my mom, bless my dad, may he rest in peace. And I said, man, I miss him so much. I do. I miss my dad. Yeah, but he's in a better place, and I know he would not want me being miserable the rest of my life. But unless you're in that moment, I had a cousin of mine. When we were kids, we lived real close to each other, so we kind of were like brothers growing up and stuff. And when he died, his son, my cousin became a father when he was 15 years old, and his son, when he died, his son was like 30. So it was one of those things. He might have been older than 30. Actually, he was past 30. But he was taking it really bad, you know, because him and his father didn't have a great relationship when my cousin passed away. And I had a talk with him in front of my other cousins, and I just focused on him. I didn't realize I had other cousins, you know, sitting around listening, you know, because him and I were talking. And the next thing I know, I realized like the whole room was quiet and everybody was listening to our conversation. And I should have said, mind your damn business. I'm talking on the, you know, but I didn't. And I told my cousin, I said, look, it doesn't matter that you and your dad were not in a good space when he died. You need to know this about your father. Your father loved you. Your father wasn't very good at showing you that he loved you. He's a human being. He's flawed. But I can tell you firsthand, him and I were tight like brothers when you were conceived, and he was like so over the moon when you were born. He was so happy, and he was always happy, and I was just like, dude, I'm gonna do the best. I'm gonna be the best father ever. And did he fail? Yeah, he failed. We all fall short of that because we're flawed, right? And I told my little second cousin this, and I says, man, I can tell you, bet my life on this right now that he loved you. He just didn't know how to show it, but he loved you, man. He honestly loved you. And, you know, it made him feel better. And my cousins were sitting around listening. They were crying and all that. I was like, what the hell's wrong with y'all, man? You know? so now, an addendum, not an addendum, but in addition to the story is that cousin, my second cousin, my cousin's son, about 2 years later, he died in his sleep. I don't know if that was connected or not. I don't know. I don't know. So, not sure. Not to take you off the subject, Kenya says, why Bill Cosby found guilty and ready to spend the rest of his old age in jail. Well, you know what? He broke the law. In our court of law, they say you break the law, you got to go to jail. There's a price to pay. There's a price to pay. Even when you're 80 years old, there's a price to pay. Some people say he's too old to go to jail. What if he did that to your daughter? Would you still feel the same way? Now, understand, Kenya, I'm not getting on you. Come on. You know me. I'm just saying, he's 80 years old. He was found guilty. Okay. Where's the evidence? His evidence apparently was his own words. His own words. And then people say, well, where's the evidence? You know, his own words. He said in a deposition, I would give women quaaludes and have sex with them. How do you defend that? How can you that's a hard mountain to get over, man. I'm just saying, you know. Demetrius says she only dates older men. It doesn't matter the race as long as they're at least 40. Well, in a couple of years, you could date me twice. No, well, you know what? Everybody has a type. You know, age type, skin color type. I like I like big, but I mean, but whatever you like, you know. Hell, even Chili from TLC says she was a size queen. But Demetrius says, besides all that, you know what? I also love me some black men. Some black menses. Love me some black menses. Well, okay. Brenda says, at that restaurant, I would have left my table unless you're going to give me free food and drinks, but I don't drink. Well, you still going to drink something, iced tea, soda, you know. I used to have a friend of mine who ran an all-you-can-eat catfish restaurant in St. Louis, and he said, well, he didn't own it, but he ran it. He was a manager for a long time, and he couldn't believe the amount of iced tea I could drink. But he told me, at an all-you-can-eat place, they start losing money the third time you ask for food. Third time you ask for food, as you as a customer, we have broken even. Now, after the third time, we start losing money. And I never thought about it like that. He goes, oh, yeah, we calculate all that stuff, man. He goes, all-you-can-eat catfish, fries, hush puppies, and all that, you know, it's $12.99 or however much it was. He goes, once, we bring you your plate, have at it. 2, have at it. 3, yeah, enjoy it. And the fourth time, you're like, That's why they don't allow you to have to-go boxes when you go to an all-you-can-eat restaurant. They'd be out of business in a week. Barbara, you're so nice to me. Thank you for saying that so much. Demetrius says the new Kanye song is weird. How is that not surprising, though, Demetrius? That a Kanye song would be kind of weird. Oh, man. When Tony speak, everybody listen. Yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, you know, Bill Cosby, Alicia, he told on himself in that deposition. He told on himself. I mean, come on. Again, I'm not a lawyer. I don't even look like a legal expert. I'm just saying, if he told on himself, you know, but his lawyer says we're going to appeal. They think they got grounds somewhere. I think where the grounds lie is in the first trial, 5 women were not allowed to testify, you know, at the end. This time, the 5 women were allowed. They were like piling on. Like in a football game, one person tackles you, and then about 4 other people jump on you after you're already on the ground. And apparently Bill was already on the ground, and then they let 5 more women just pile on him. Was that right or wrong? I don't know. I'm not defending. I'm not saying he should not be in jail. He's convicted. He needs to be in jail. He needs to be in jail. That's all I'm saying. When the manager calls the cops on you for no reason, I assume you're saying, Roberta, you don't want the food anymore. Yeah, you know what? And that's the restaurant messed up. The manager messed up. And the buck stops with the restaurant. It happened here in Dallas, in Plano, I think. But it's a mess. Just Google that if you want to read the story. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, you fumble the ball, man. You fumble the ball. And in the restaurant business, you can't afford to fumble the ball, man. You know, like I said, if I own the restaurant, it's like, dude, you can't be a manager here, man. I'm not saying you got to be fired, but I got to demote you. You know, I got to demote you, man. You know, if you feel like you can't take the demotion, you got to leave. I understand that, but I can't keep you on as a manager. I keep you on, but not as a manager. You don't have the temperament. See, that would be my argument. You don't have the temperament to be a manager in a situation. Look at that situation right there. One of our regulars comes in and says, "That's my table. I want my table." And you like say this guy's trespassing. He's sitting there enjoying a drink and getting ready to have a meal with his wife, and you say he's trespassing. You got to call the police on him? Really? It's like, no, man, no, can't do that. Brenda, have a great evening. Thank you so much. Hey, Melissa, how you doing? Sambuca, it's been on ABC News twice tonight. Okay. Here in Dallas, right? Yeah. That's why I saw it, you know, and it's like, wow, this is crazy. This is nuts, but it is what it is. So, Barbara, enough is never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough. This, you know, I was talking to my boss about this the other day. I don't know. In my business, you know, when you're coming up in the business, when you're young, trying to build your broadcast career, they say you got to pay your dues. You got to pay your dues. Well, you know what? And this may happen in regular life too. You're never done paying your dues. You're always paying your dues. You will always pay your dues. That's just fact. Hashtag fact. You will always have to pay your dues. You know, my father used to tell me, union, you pay your dues every year. What the hell? You're always paying your dues. Hello. Hello. Yvonne, you know, being nice about the restaurant situation, he has to step down. Somebody else would have said he's fired. Yeah, well, you know what? But there are different ways to handle the situation, Yvonne. There are different ways to handle it. I would have chosen, you know, because I know how important the job is. Now, if the man would have gone out there and said, look, you N-word, you got to go. Well, then, yeah, you got to go. Now you got to go. But to me, you fumbled the ball and you put us in a bad spot and you represented the restaurant in a very poor way. I can't let you be manager anymore. Okay. Like I said, I have a hard time with people losing their jobs unless it's just something ridiculous. This is borderline ridiculous, you know. But I can't let you be the manager anymore. Like I said, if you want to stay on, you can. If you want to leave, you can. Obviously, you're more than welcome to do that too. But being the manager, nah. And then, yeah, they told me, man, you got to pay your tab, and then you got to leave. Wow. Wow. Man. Samuel says, hey, I've been in that restaurant. I lived in Dallas. I enjoyed that restaurant. You know, it was a bad deal. And the restaurant says, yeah, we flubbed up over here. So there you go. So, Barbara, thank you so much. Look, I got to go. I've been bothering you over 30 minutes now. I've been a pest in your life. But thanks so much for following me. Tony Scott Media on all my platforms, YouTube, this and that media. Please subscribe to my channel. It'll help me get me back in the money. And that will be so helpful. But thanks so much for hanging out with me and sharing this video if you can on your Facebook page would help grow what I'm trying to do so much. So thank you so much again. Have a great evening, and hopefully I'll see you tomorrow.